What is up, lads, and welcome back to the final episode of BBL SuperCoach for the 2025-2026 season on the Hooked On SuperCoach channel. So, as we now are all aware, the season is now over in Big Bash SuperCoach, and so I'll just run through my round 9 team. We got a nice little green arrow, and we finished inside the top 500 for the first time playing BBL SuperCoach. So, all in all, pretty happy with that. So we'll just talk through my team, my learnings, and then what I'm looking to do next year. Before we get into the video though, just want to mention you can subscribe. It's free, it costs you nothing, and it really helps the videos out. If you've enjoyed any of the content this year with either the BBL, the EPL, or getting ready for the NRL SuperCoach, don't forget to subscribe and like, so you can stay notified of the videos. But without further ado, let's get stuck into today's video. So as you saw there at the start, we'll go back and look. I finished up with a round score of 1140 for round 9, which put me on a nice green arrow back inside the top 500. So I kind of loitered up and down all season inside the top 1,000 there. And so to finish up with that season rank of 482, I'm all in all very happy with that. So yeah, as you can see there, we started off like first season, first time playing the Big Bash, and I don't know if you all remember, but in the first game there, the Sixers v Scorchers, which is funnily enough the game tonight. So by the time you've watched the video, the game is probably on right now at the moment. I'm just jumped in after work to try and get the podcast out for you guys there. The Sixers and Scorchers game was rain affected. So hopefully the game tonight isn't rain affected and that the Sixers can go on and win the title for the Big Bash this year. But yeah, I wasn't too sure sort of what I was doing at the start there with my picks. However, as we saw, round 2, kind of nice green arrow up again to 986. Then round 3, must have been my best round, or one of my better rounds, into a season rank of 308. Round 4, bit of a red arrow, 629. Round 5, red arrow, slight red arrow down to 646. Round 6, big green arrow to 370. Round 7, green arrow again to 352. Round 8, actually got a massive red arrow because of the Renegades flopping. 804, well, my Renegades players flopping. 804. And then round 9, we came home strong and we finished with a season rank of 482. So yeah, pretty happy with that and how it all went. As you can see there, I think I boosted. This second boost here was probably one I wish I held, especially for probably that round 8. That red arrow from 352 down to 800 was a little bit disappointing and didn't manage to get a video. I got my round 8 preview video out, but I didn't manage to get a round 8 review, round 9 preview out in time just due to time constraints and work and whatnot. But yeah, I still finished inside the top 500, which I am happy with. But yeah, next season I will definitely, so I think for sure, use one of your boosts early on, set your side up, get that cash generation going. However, this second boost I think was to bring in Chris Lynn because someone was a late out during that round. We can probably figure it out actually in the trade history here. So I remember, Chris Lynn for, I think it was Evans. Evans was got out of the team, was dropped or something, and so I needed someone to bring in. So brought in Chris Lynn, and obviously he did absolutely nothing after that. But yeah, look, I think most of my trade-ins, for the most part, were pretty good. Look here, Jack Wildermuth, Stoinis. Khan didn't do much, but Stoinis and Wildermuth I held through the rest of the season. Chadri there, should have held probably. Chris Jordan was not a good buy. Curran was a great buy, should have probably held him. Finn Allen, a bit whatever. Wardia, isn't he a funny story? So obviously I brought him in then, scored absolutely nothing for me throughout the whole season, but in the final round, scores, takes 2 wickets in his first 2 overs bowling, first wickets of the Big Bash that season, and then was actually on for a hat-trick, and pretty sure scored his highest ever points last week. Yeah, season high was 76. So yeah, he actually scored his highest score in the final round of the year. So not happy with that trade, but it worked out. Short, that was a bit of a impulsive move. Regretted that. Swepson was good. Lynn, as I said, horrible. Harris Ralph for the double did alright. Peter Siddle, happy enough. Sean Abbott didn't do much. Davies, stoked with. Dorcius went nuts. Overton, Owen, Scott, pretty much all of them did bugger all. Khan, Sunderland, Brown, not great. And then for my final round trades, I literally sold all of them I just brought in. Brown, Khan and Sunderland, and I brought in Steve Smith, Mitch Starc and Scott there, just a cheapie to afford those two. And as we now all know, Steve Smith went nuts and Mitchell Starc bowled really well in that second game there. So as you can see, Steve Smith 239 with a nice captaincy. So as you know, as I always kind of do, I just big dick it and just captain the player I think that's going to score the most runs. And then the Sixers ended up batting first, I believe. So I was like, yep, run it with Steve Smith. Let's see how he goes. Warner went nuts and then Steve Smith just showed him how it was done. And then he ended up getting another 50 in the game against the Heat. So yeah, so stoked with Steve Smith. Very surprised he's not in the T20 Australian squad. I'll be interested to see if he gets a late little recall there. But yeah, look, mate, Smith and Starc VCC couldn't have been happier there, and that kind of ensured the green arrow to finish it off. Philippi, yeah, look, didn't do much. I think 40 of those points were pretty much from catches, so didn't really work out with the bat for him there, but did score more than Sammy Harper. So for probably the first time this season, I got the benching of Harper and playing Philippi right. Stoinis, what an elite year he's had. He is just so good with the bat and ball, and it'll be a big reason why the Stars go well in the final series. Jack Edwards, bit disappointing, but bowling less now with Starkey and whatnot back, and then also batting less because Smith is just so good, doesn't get out. So all in all, yeah, look alright. Same as Davies. Davies hardly bowled and didn't bat pretty much. Mitch Owen, I just had to hold because I didn't have the funds to move him on and didn't have the trades. However, he did come on because Wardia was my reserve, and yeah, as I mentioned there, scored 76, so I was very happy to bring him on there. Moving further down, Hardy and Connolly, they've got bugger all runs with the bat recently, but with the ball is really where they're making their points and being damaging. And yeah, look, they'll both be players I'll be definitely looking to get next year. Matt Short, yeah, look, just bang average, hey. And then Liam Scott, well, Adelaide Strikers, yeah, got Renegades out for under 100, so it was never going to be a high-scoring real batting testament, so it wasn't really required there. Starkey, just elite at bowling, hey. Jack Wildermuth didn't get any runs and just bowled and I think caught a few in the field, so probably should have ended up playing him over Glenn Maxwell, but wow, Glenn Maxwell, hey, what a disappointing season. I think I've played him every single game this season, and I also captained him when the Stars had the double there. So if I didn't do that, it would have been a way bigger green arrow. I honestly just can't believe the fall from grace from the man. I back him in; he's a class player, but to have lost 137k, to have an average of 23 when Wardia's is 32. I think that kind of says everything we need to say. A season high score, I think it's 40 runs, 70 in SuperCoach. But wowee, what a disappointing season for Glenn Maxwell there. So looking forward to next year, I'll definitely will be starting with Glenn Maxwell. But the lesson there is that in such a short format, you don't really need to hold players. You can just move them on, and he started the season at 200k, and I just ended up taking a loss with all that cash because I just held and thought, oh yeah, he'll be better next week. But with the short game format, you don't really need a hold. You can just move them on, and if they start performing, you can bring them back in. So that's definitely one of my lessons learnt there. If you've got an underperforming asset, give them 2 weeks. If they're still not performing, just move them on. You can always bring it back. I know it's very annoying. However, you can end up just wasting a player there. And Glenn Maxwell, I started him all season, so not only did I miss out on cash and points, but I also missed out on playing points because I always played Maxwell over my bench, depending on whoever that was. So yeah, look, extremely disappointed in Maxwell there, but what can you really do? So yeah, that was definitely one of my lessons. My second lesson is on the back of that, going off form. If a player's killed it 2 games in a row, bring him in. Like, they're in good form. As you can see with Dave Warner, I think he's going to be the real testament for that. So he scored nothing to start off with, and then just ended up going ballistic at the back end of the season, and he's ended up at 224k. So you look 2, 7, 10, 25, nothing, and then 75, 97. You bring him in, then you get his 107, 155. So definitely target players that are in form. I think form is bigger than fixtures in the Big Bash. Definitely load up on your double sort of players, but don't overdo it, which is kind of what I think I did there. So obviously the Renegades had their double in round 8, loaded up on them, and they really only scored the same as kind of the single game weeks there. And so yeah, it's just lessons to learn moving forward, and like what to do and what not to do next year. Like, all in all, I'm still inside the top 500 out of 55k or whatever it is. So still a great rank, and I'll take it. But next year, I think I'll be trying to go top 200, top 100, sort of really get up to the pointy end there. And so yeah, those are just the sort of little lessons I'll be looking to take with me moving forward there. But yeah, really, it's Glenn Maxwell, and I think it's what was his name? One of the Behrendorff, one of the bowlers who's lost almost as much as Stoinis there. Not Stoinis, Maxwell. See if we can. Yeah, Behrendorff. Look at this. He lost 107k as well. So, again, these sort of players that just aren't performing next season, just move them on. Don't worry about them. Look at this. Chris Lynn. Bloody hopeless. Look at all these players I've had. Shocking. Kind of remarkable, honestly, how I finished inside the top 500, considering those dodgy players, but also those dodgy captaincies. I think Steve Smith was the first captaincy I've really nailed, and so I went out with a bang there. So happy to finish the season off with that. So yeah, my predictions for the final series. Let's just pull it up quickly. We've got Sixers choose to toss and they'll bowl first. That's massive. So I think the Sixers will win tonight now. With that, hopefully for my sake, anyway there. And so yeah, I think it'll be a Sixers Stars grand final. And if it's the Sixers Stars grand final, kind of hope the Sixers win. But I will be cheering on the Stars if the Sixers get knocked out, because they've never won it before, and I think this might be the year they get the donkey off the back there. So yeah, that's my predictions for the final series. But if not, I will see all you lovely people either next year back for the Big Bash SuperCoach, or if you play Big Bash EPL, I'll see you on the EPL videos. We're doing really well there. We're inside the top 100 now, so we're tracking really good. We're getting up to the very pointy end for the BBL. For the EPL there. And then if not, the NRL content will start coming back in the next couple weeks now that the Big Bash is done, and now that I have a bit more time for the content, I can start looking towards the NRL with pre-season games getting kicked off shortly. But yeah, if you've enjoyed the season, give us a thumbs up, like the video. Let's shout out the league. So the Hooked on BBL SuperCoach winner is me, is the champion. So I ended up winning that somehow. Don't know how. A lot of them saw big red arrows, and I obviously saw a big green arrow. So ended up winning the league, which is nice there for us. So if you think you're better than me, or if you think you can beat me, let's see it. Join the league next year, and we'll put it to the test there. But yeah, for the final time for the BBL SuperCoach videos, don't forget to like if you've enjoyed the content, if you've enjoyed the season. Comment, give me your comments. I want to hear your biggest lesson or learning, and how you finished your season rank overall. And then also like the video. If not, I'll see you guys all in the next video. Cheers, guys. Have a good one.